Hi, everybody. It's me, Bob, again. I want to thank you for coming back to my channel. There's something that I have to talk about, something that is in reference to the Iranian-Israeli war right now, and I think it's important. I would like to read a verse uh, right after I mention the fact that a lot of Bible prophecy teachers, too many, if you want my opinion, are mentioning Ezekiel 38 as the next war that's going to happen. People like Amir Safadi and other people um, constantly talk about Ezekiel 38 as the next war. So I would like to read a verse and have you all comment on this verse, okay? This is from Ezekiel 38, and this is the 11th verse. It says, and thou, meaning Russia, Turkey, Iran, Libya, Ethiopia, I think is mentioned in Ezekiel 38, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, at that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. Okay? To me, this is one of the most important verses in end time Bible prophecy. I do not see how anyone could say that the Ezekiel war is next when this verse clearly says that they will go up against Israel when certain things take place. And some of those things that need to have to take place is that Israel must be dwelling safely, and they have to be without bars nor gates and walls, okay, unwalled villages. There is no way that Israel fits that description now. They are at war currently with Iran. They are still at war with Hezbollah. They are still at war with Hamas, the Houthis, even Fatah, the Palestinian Liberation Organization. They are not dwelling safely. They are not dwelling without walls or gates. They have more walls in Israel than the Vatican has. Okay. I do not see how anyone who says the Ezekiel war is the next war could possibly say that with what I just discussed. In my opinion, this is impossible. Now, I would say to those people, how do you see the fulfillment of this verse that I just read? If Ezekiel war is going to happen when Israel is dwelling at peace, how do you see that happening? I've just did a couple of verses, a couple of videos where I talk about what's called gotcha questions, where I ask these questions, and I'm just curious as to how people would answer them. Um, but anyway, this gotcha question would be what I just said. How is Israel going to be dwelling safely and peacefully before this Ezekiel attack takes place? How is that going to happen? Please, in the comments, let me know if you have any idea how this will happen. I have one idea, and I think it's the only idea, and it's the only one that makes sense, and it's the only one that will allow you to understand Bible prophecy with this understanding. Without this understanding, you will not understand end time Bible prophecy, in my opinion. And that, of course, has to do with the Psalm 83 war. And we have Bill Salus to thank for that. He is the one that introduced the Psalm 83 war, I don't know, 20, 25 years ago. He introduced it as a supplement to the Ezekiel war, but it's not the same war. It's a different war. And if you know anything about the Psalm 83 war, you know that Israel will defeat their inner ring enemies. You have the inner ring with, as I mentioned, Hezbollah, Hamas, Fatah, Palestinians, even Saudi Arabia, even Egypt, and even Jordan. These are countries mentioned in Psalm 83 that must be destroyed or taken over by the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces. They have to be taken over. And once they are taken over by Israel, then Israel will be dwelling in a pseudo peace, but still it will be a peace because their enemies, their local enemies, will be out of the picture. Now, of course, there will be other enemies, but that's the outer ring that Ezekiel is talking about. But that will not take place until Israel is dwelling in peace. And in my opinion, this will not take place until after the rapture. Okay, these are important things to understand. Now, of course, I happen to be a big fan of Psalm 83. One particular reason is because of Jordan. If you know some of my videos, I talk about the Copper Scroll. Again, in my opinion, you must understand the Copper Scroll project to understand Bible prophecy. And in order for the Copper Scroll to be in play, Jordan must fall into the hands of Israel. And that will happen during the Psalm 83 war. Now, as you know, Iran and Israel are going at it right now. And as you know, you'll probably comment that Jordan and Lebanon and Syria are not coming against Israel at the moment. But uh, as I have said with Emmanuel Macron, who is definitely the Antichrist, it doesn't matter what's happening right now. Emmanuel Macron will be the Antichrist. The stories that are happening right now play nothing into stopping Macron from being the Antichrist. In the same way, it's the same thing with Psalm 83. Psalm 83 must happen in order for Bible prophecy to make any sense. And I believe strongly that Bill Salus is correct when he talks about Psalm 83. And even though we don't see the players in Psalm 83 in their right position right now during the Iran-Israel war that's taking place right now, that doesn't stop the fact that Psalm 83 will happen. There are a couple of scenarios that are starting to blossom, if you will, that could possibly change the layout of the land and form that Psalm 83 confederation that Bill Salus talks about. So there are a couple of things that could lead to the Psalm 83, but it's not quite clear at the moment. But as I said, Psalm 83 will happen. Psalm 83 must happen. Ezekiel 38 cannot happen until Israel is dwelling safely and in peace without any walls or gates. That cannot happen unless the Psalm 83 war happens. And when that happens, that will completely set up the scenario for Israel to be fulfilled what verse 11 in Psalm Ezekiel 38 is talking about. At the end of Psalm 83, Israel will be dwelling safely and in peace with no walls or gates because they're going to get all of that land back. The Sanhedrin a few days ago even came out with uh, with a message that they believe that Israel needs to get back that land that was promised to Abraham, which I thought was very timely, both that the Sanhedrin, which I believe will be the government during the tribulation period in Israel, and the fact that they talked about Israel getting back all of this land that was promised to them. I agree that they will get back all of this land that was promised to them and that will take place of the Psalm 83 war. Anyone who talks about Ezekiel 38 taking place shortly, in my opinion, is dead wrong. It cannot happen. I read the scripture to you. They will come against Israel when Israel is dwelling safely and they are dwelling without walls nor gates and they are at rest. That is hardly the situation that we see right now. It does not fulfill scripture. Only after the Psalm 83 war will that scripture be fulfilled. And that is when Ezekiel 38 will happen. And that is when that will take place. Okay?